I am happy to be here. Today's makeup tutorial is going to be special because I will be giving you secrets to the best looking makeup. I'll be doing that by answering some questions that I think are frequently asked to people who do makeup or people who want to learn about makeup, who want to inquire about makeup. So knowing these questions will help you figure out how to do the best looking makeup looks. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you see me for the first time, my name is Jenna. I am a makeup artist, and on my live videos I teach people how to create nice makeup. I spill the tea about products that I use and products that are good for you. So please stay tuned and watch my video. Please subscribe to my channel, turn on your bell notification, like, share. Please share. If you learned something from my video, of course you should share. Subscribe, of course. Stay, keep coming back. And I will see you in my next video after this one. I hope to see you. I want to see you in my life again. So without much talk, I'm going to go straight into the video. So in my last video, I mentioned that next time I'm going to be doing makeup, which is today, I'm going to be showing you every single thing that I do from my prep. And of course, I'm not gatekeeping. I'll be showing you the products I use as well as telling you where I get my products from. So before you start watching, share this video to that person who definitely needs this video. I know you know someone who needs this video. Make sure you're sharing this video to them. So let's get right into the video. I will be doing a prep first from the beginning, which is like cleansing my face and putting the right products before I go ahead. The first thing I like to do, especially if you have any form of oils, anything on your face, hi, welcome to my live. Give my video a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and come back next time. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, hi, Alexis, nice to meet you here on my live. I'm going to be doing a tutorial of a full makeup look. So I'm going to start with my skin prep. The first thing I like to do when I prep my skin is to use a washer, a foaming cleanser rather. So this one I got from the dollar store. Hi, welcome to my live. This I got from the dollar store and it's a foaming cleanser. The best quality of this is that it has a brush. You pump it onto your skin and so, and I just wash. Oh, hi, Jen. Is your name Jennifer? Because my name is Jennifer. Welcome to my live. And I like to cleanse my face thoroughly. Hi, Darcy. Nice to meet you here on my live. I am good. How are you? So in this video, I'm going to be doing like a tutorial as well as answering some nice questions. Please give my video a thumbs up. Share with someone who would like. Oh, I'm happy that you're good, Darcy. Nice to meet you here on my live. So I have a wet cloth. Uh, Not on my life. I don't play games on my life. But I do answer some questions that could be beneficial because this is a makeup tutorial. So I try to answer important questions that I think will help anyone who is interested in makeup or who likes doing makeup to get. Oh, Jeanette. That is a beautiful name. Nice to meet you, Jeanette. And I'm just going to be wiping my face off. So this is what I do. Hi, welcome to my live. Ooh, you're moving to Hearst. This sounds like a very long journey. I don't know where you are moving from, but it does seem long. Welcome to my live. Please give my video a thumbs up and I'm getting straight into this tutorial. So like I said, I've cleansed my face and I'm using the damp cloth to wipe off all that foam and I'm just going to let it to dry. And the next thing I will be doing is to take a rose water spray. If you have just, oh, you're in Chemi. Chemi where? So I'm going to be taking a rose water and I will be spraying on my face. But I have to make sure that my skin is dry before I move on to the next product. So you always want to make sure that your skin is dry, and then you apply the next product so that everything can settle into your skin and give your skin the right balance. Remember, you're putting a lot of products, tons of products, so it's going to obstruct the chemical structure of your face, the balance. So you need to get it set into the right place before. Oh no way, Kemi near Sudbury. Oh my goodness, I'm in Sudbury. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Darcy. And so I go ahead and spray because I've felt that my face is dry. I'm going to go and spray, and this. You're 20. Oh my goodness, that is cool. That is so cool to be young again. Please give my video a thumbs up. So I will use a fan, or in this case, the cover of my palette. I don't know where I kept my fan, so I'm going to use this and get my products dry. You're in grade 5, really? So this is to get it set, and then I apply the next product, but I want it to be completely dry before I go into the next product. So while I am doing that, the first question I'm going to be, hi Lily, nice to meet you on my live. Please give my video a thumbs up. I am doing a makeup tutorial, and I am answering some frequently asked questions that I think anyone who wants to do makeup or who is trying to get into makeup should know and could help. Even if you've been doing makeup, these questions could help you improve, learn something new in your makeup business. Oh, 5 to 10, 8 hours. Oh my goodness, that is far. That is so far. Well, I do wish you a safe trip. Get there safe, and please come back on my live. So the first question I'm going to be answering is it important to apply a primer? And before I answer that question, I'm going to be using a toner to tone my face first, and I'm using this Thea's toner. You can find this in Walmart. So I'm taking this and I'm putting it on a cotton pad. I'm going to be toning my face first. So I like to do a little bit of skincare on my face before I apply any kind of product. It's good to care for your face regardless, makeup or no makeup. You should do like some proper care for your skin. So I like to press the toner into my skin. Please give my video a thumbs up if you're enjoying my live. Please give my video a thumbs up. Say hello in the comment section. Tell me where you're watching from. I am shooting from Sudbury, Canada. So let me know, where are you watching from? So let me know in the comment section. Hi, Dudes Kwong. Welcome to my live. So now that I'm certain that it has gotten to every part of my skin, like I said, I'm going to let it dry. And you can assist the drying process with a fan. So I'm just getting this to set into my skin. And then the next thing I'm going to be applying is, no, I don't have Roblox. I don't play games. So the next thing, I don't play video games, but I play card games and the rest. Anyway, the next thing I'll be applying when my toner has dried is this Snail Mucin. This is the Cox brand, and you can find this in Walmart, and I think a lot of places, but I think Walmart is the easiest, right? So you can find this in Walmart. So I'm just going to be applying this to my skin, and I will be massaging it into my skin. Now this helps with lots of moisture. For me, I love my makeup to be hydrating and not mattifying. I feel like it works best for my skin if the product is more hydrating than mattifying. But there are people that I know that love mattifying makeup, and there is nothing wrong with that. It's just your preference. So I'm going to be pressing it into my skin. Please give my video a thumbs up. What time is it? Well, it's 12:47 a.m. September 2nd. So I'm pressing the product into my skin. And now back to the first question, which is, do you have to apply a primer every single time you do makeup? Honestly, it is most advisable to get the best kind of outcome for your makeup. Why? Because depending on the climate you are, you would always need a primer, either a hydrating primer or a mattifying primer. So for like humid conditions, like if where you are is very hot, a mattifying primer will work perfectly. But if you are in a colder, drier area, a hydrating primer is best because it can it absorbs into your skin, and then it doesn't let like the makeup move. It stays in place and it gives just that balance to your skin. So yes, I would say a primer is recommended for your makeup. However, you could still do your makeup without primer, but then the primer helps in longevity of your products and also helping it to stay in place, especially if you have like a sweaty skin, or you have, oh yeah, I'm 26, yeah. That's a good guess. Especially if you have like a sweaty skin or your face produces lots of oil. So the primer is going to be helping you with that, because remember, you're adding products on your skin. So it's going to help you keep all those products in balance, right? So that is a good thing. Yes, QC, yes, yes, you are right. So that is a good trick. So yes, a primer is highly recommended for your makeup. So now, after this has dried, I'm going to be taking this. This is Beauty by Johnson, and I like to apply this. This product I find is super hydrating. It gives my face that beautiful luscious glow that I want for my makeup. So I highly recommend a hydrating serum under your makeup. And remember, whenever you apply, make sure it dries before you go on to the next step. So after I applied the snail mucin, I let it to dry before I went ahead with the other one, which is this one, the Beauty by Johnson. So I'm going to be applying it everywhere on my skin, and then my forehead. Hi, welcome to my life. Do give my video a thumbs up, share this video with someone, your friends, anyone you know on your social media. Share my videos, please. And turn on your notification bell, subscribe to my channel. I have so many videos that you can watch, so do subscribe. So I'm going to be applying this under my eyes too. I would recommend when you apply your products, make sure you get a lot of hydration under your eye, because your under eye tends to get pretty dry. So it makes like your concealer very cakey or flaky under your eyes if it's not well hydrated. So you want to get that. So again, I'm going to reinforce that first question. Yes, you need your primer for your skin. The best placement for your primer is you place your primer after you've put moisturizer. Why? Because a primer kind of has a mattifying feel, and it could be, depending on the product, it could have some dryness to it. It could provide some dryness to your skin. So you want to make sure that your skin has a lot of hydration before you apply the primer. Don't just go and apply primer and then apply your what do you call it, your other products. The primer comes last in your prep, so make sure that you are applying everything before your primer. So like I said, like the other ones, I'm going to be fanning this down, and I'm going to be letting it set into my skin before I go ahead with the other products. So guys, I'm waiting for this to dry. While I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to be answering the second question. And the second question is, how do I know my foundation shade? Now, I would say that to get your foundation shade, really, you should, if it is possible where you are, go into like a store where they sell, for instance, if you have Sephora around you, I would say it's most advisable to get your best possible skin shade by going into the store, and then they do a taste test for you on your skin. Why? That is your skin there readily available, and they can put like different colors and check, match it on your skin to know the one that is your exact type. Now, in a case where you don't have, you could always use this online skin shade tests, but I'm not very sure they're very reliable. And I would say that because I recently got a brand, and when I tried it, even though I did the online test, I still got a shade that was way lighter than my skin tone. So I would advise that you actually go into the store and get your test done in the store, because your skin is there and then they can put the product and see the shade. Now, another thing to know when you're picking your shade is your undertone. So if you have like a red undertone and you go with like a foundation that has like yellow or warm undertone, it's going to contrast with your skin, because like like you can see that I have some yellowness to my skin. These are what they call undertones, right? Is warm undertone, right? So when I get a product, I have to get something that is close to yellow, or a warmer foundation. Now, if I get something that is red and I apply it, it's going to throw my makeup off, because that is not the exact skin tone for my skin, which is the issue that a lot of people have. They might get a shade that could work for them, but then the undertone is not right. So they are going to keep on having these issues whenever they apply their products, because the undertone is wrong. So I would say the number one best way to find your shade is to go in store and have a test. The second alternative is the online test. So with that being said, I am just going to be um, going straight into the application, and I'm going to apply my foundation. So I like to apply a bit on my mixing palette. So I see. Sorry, I don't understand your question, QC. Could you ask it in another way? Could you ask the question another way? I don't really understand. So, this is a mixing palette. I like to use it to mix products. So, my foundation is from Sephora. Excuse me. So, I have two foundations actually that are very close to my skin tone. Hi, welcome to my live. Please give my video a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel. So this is from Sephora. I got this product by going into Sephora and getting a skin test for the shade. And at the time while I did that, it seemed to be like the best. But currently I've been having like a little bit of tanning, because you know it's summer, it's still summer. So I've tanned a little bit, so it's slightly lighter than my complexion. So what I want to do whenever I have these issues is I apply it and then I mix like two different brands. I have another one that is darker, so I like to mix this with the darker one, and it gets the closest to my shade, right? So you can go into Sephora if you have Sephora by you, or you can use the Maybelline. The Maybelline is pretty cheap and it's so good. It's still very good for the price, right? I find that it's actually very good. And depending on what you want to achieve, they have the matte foundation, and then they have the hydrating foundation. I always tend to lean into hydrating products rather than matte. I'm not very sure I like using mattifying products, so I like to lean into the hydrating ones. So I have the hydrating moisturizer for the Maybelline brand. But right now, I'll be using the Sephora brand. So like I said, I'm mixing two brands. I mixed it with this brand, V Beauty brand, in the shade Maroon 8. And I'm just going to apply a bit of product on my skin. As you can see, it's almost there. It's not really there. It's almost there. But this is the closest I can work with. and if I blend it in, it will work with my skin. So when I apply my foundation, I like to put a little bit, and what I'm going to be doing afterwards is spraying my face, and then I'm going to be blending it in. Now what the spray does is it helps the product to be very blendable. So I think this is a good skill that you might want to have if you are having issues with blending in your foundation. This works really good for me. And something else to know is when you use your beauty blender, this beauty blender is actually doubled in size. And that is because I make it damp, I soak it in water, I squeeze out all the water. You want to be using a damp beauty sponge, not a wet one, damp. You're going to put water and squeeze all the water, wrinkle all the water out. And when you have it damp, it's perfect for blending your makeup. So this is what I'm doing, blending it into my skin. Hi, if you're new on my life, my name is Jenna. I am a makeup artist, and today I'm just doing a makeup tutorial and answering some questions that could help make your makeup better. So, as is, I think I like what is looking like. So I'm just going to take just a little bit and be adding to the parts that don't have. So I'm just going to be putting to this outer corner and doing the same here, just because I feel like those parts don't have the right amount of products. And when I am satisfied, I will be moving on to do my contouring. So the next question for this is, what is the difference between a concealer and a foundation? Honestly, the foundations are usually bigger in bottle size, first of all. For instance, this is a concealer. This is the Rimmel brand. It's in the smaller bottle, so you can easily find this as the quickest and best difference, right? The concealer is in a smaller container. The foundation is always in the bigger container. So if you see this at once, you will know that this is a concealer and this is the foundation. However, if you're moving past that, the second difference is in the feature. Now, foundations could be like sheer, and what I mean by that is when you apply it, it could be really light, it could be lightweight, it could be medium coverage, it could be full coverage, right? But the concealer always tends to be, most of the time, tends to be full coverage. Why? Because just as is in the name, concealer is going to be concealing a lot of things. For instance, your dark spots, a concealer is going to conceal that. And while some foundations can conceal that, other foundations cannot conceal that because they're, like I said, lightweight, so they have a sheer nature to them. So a concealer has full coverage and can cover spots and different things, but the foundation could be limited, not all, but it could be limited. So now I'm going to be contouring, and to contour I'm going to be using that dark foundation I initially mixed with my foundation shade in the shade Maroon 8, and I'm going to be concealing here. I'm going to be working here. Now for the contour, I like to use something that is not too dark. I find that when you use a foundation or concealer shade to contour, it tends to be unrealistic. That is for me, but people have their preference, right? I find that it's very unrealistic, so I like to go with a shade that is not too dark, just gives slight contrast to my skin. So this is the placement I do for my contour. I don't necessarily contour the jaw. I find that is not necessary to me. But I like to do like my cheekbones, highlight there. I like to do the other side, then my temple and my forehead. And then when I am done, the next thing I move into is my blush. So the next question I'm going to be answering is can you use your lipstick as your found blush shade? So some people are limited to the products that they have, so it's not compulsory that if you don't have a blush you can't wear blush. No, you can wear blush. If you have just the powder blush, of course you can wear your powder blush and it will still be perfect. But can you use your lipstick? Of course you can use your lipstick. So this is a red lipstick from Maybelline. Yeah, it's the Maybelline Super Stay Vinyl Lipstick, and I will be using that as my blush. So, like I said, I'm going to be applying some product on my mixing pan, and I'm just putting some right there. Just a tiny bit, as so. And now using the same part that I used for my contour, I am going to be using that to apply my blush. So because it already has some product from the contour, is making this very blendable and seamless, and it's not too harsh. It's like the perfect amount for me. And of course, with like the right blending, it goes into your skin seamlessly and it sits there perfectly. So I think, of course, you can use your lipstick as a blush. And if your lipstick is very pigmented, you don't even need so much lipstick. You just need a little bit and you are good to go. So don't feel afraid to use your lipstick. Makeup can always be interpreted differently for people, right? It depends on what your preference is in makeup and it works for you. But absolutely, you can use your lipstick as a blush, especially if you're running low on like cash, you don't have so much money, and you just want to still look good. Of course, you can use what you have. You just have to use it the right way. So as you can see, this product is blending into my skin perfectly, and because of the motion I'm using the bottom here to press the product into my skin. You notice that I'm not just placing the product, I'm pressing it into my skin. I want it to enter into my skin as much as possible, so I will be pressing it in as so, just as so. And I'm going to be doing this other part, and it looks as natural as can be. I think it looks really good. So now that I'm satisfied with my blush, one rule for blush or creams that I have is whatever you apply cream, you have to apply powder too. Now, what that means is that if you apply a concealer, you have to set it, and you can set it using a powder. So if you use your cream contour, you set it with the powder contour. If you use a blush, you set it with the powder blush. If you apply concealer, you set it with the powder setting powder. Or yeah, you can use a setting powder to set it, right? Now, why you're setting it is because the creams could have some oil, because some creams are, some foundations, some blushes are oil based. You need to set it. If not, it's going to look super oily and it won't be nice. So whenever you apply, you have to set it with the powder, right? And even for the water-based products, you still have to set it because it's liquid. You set your liquids with powder. For every liquid you apply, you set it with powder. So please, if you're liking my video, if you like what I'm doing here, give my video a thumbs up. Share my videos, please. Hi, Said. How are you? Welcome to my live. Where are you watching from? So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to be applying a concealer. Now, I have this concealer and I'm going to be using it, but then before I use it, I'm going to be using like my foundation to conceal, just because the one that is my shade is I've run out of it. So I'm just going to be using the foundation, this one, to conceal my under eye, my forehead, and my chin, and then my cupid's bow. Please give my video a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. share my videos. So this is the area that I like to highlight. Here, here, here. So we call it highlights because if you notice, these are where the light tends to rest in and draw attention on. So we like to highlight that place. Just because when you apply your foundation, it kind of takes away the natural highlights of your face and contour. So you're bringing them back with the product. Basically, you're restructuring what the foundation has made like bare or bland. It just makes your face one whole look. So you'd like to bring the dimensions with the concealer, contour, the blush. That's all you're adding, the natural flush to the face. So I'll be placing my product here. Now I don't want to apply too much product under my eyes, so I'm just going to be applying a little bit here. I'm moving it upwards, and then I will be applying under my eyes. Now, the next question I'm going to be answering is, why do people use sponges instead of blush and a brush rather? Now, I would say it really depends on you as an artist, because there are days when I really, really love to use a beauty like a beauty sponge. This is a beauty sponge, by the way, if you don't know what it is. This is a beauty sponge. There are days when I just really love to use this, and there are days where I just prefer my brush. It all depends. So I'm spraying my face to make it easy and blendable. So like I said, it all depends on your preference. Some days I like to use a brush, while other days I prefer to use the blender. The best part about using like a beauty sponge is that it absorbs the excess product, whereas the brush may not necessarily absorb all that excess product. So this could work in, like when you're using especially a full coverage product, because just a little bit of a full coverage product will really make a statement on your face. So using a sponge helps to absorb some of the product. However, the downside to using a sponge, honestly, is that sometimes it could be wasteful. So you find yourself always reapplying because your sponge tends to soak in your products. Meanwhile, if you use a brush, you tend to use like a little product and it goes a long way, right? So it all depends on you. Or this could be really blendable. So it depends on the person doing the makeup. Some days this is really very easy to use, honestly. So the general rule for your concealing is you get to do this part first. This you do last. Why? Because you set this place first, right? So you want to blend everything else, or else if you set this place first, it will crease. And what that means is there are little folds under your eye, although not everybody's eye is different and under eye is different, right? But depending, for most people, here has some folds of skin. So if you blend it first and it dries up quickly, trust me, you're going to have a hard time blending. And I'm talking too much, so I'm going to have a hard time blending. But you get the point, right? So you basically want your products to blend in seamlessly and properly. So you just, if you do it the right way, you wouldn't have a problem with the blending. But if you use a concealer that dries out too quickly, oh my goodness, you're going to have a hard time blending it in, because by the time you want to do that, your product has dried down, right? So I'm going ahead to blend this upwards, keeping in mind that I have already placed my blush. So I'm blending this all the way upwards, looking up so that I can get into that corner. And when it looks seamless, I would now go into this part. For everything in makeup, you want it to be blended. Difference between having a a good looking makeup is in the blending. Honestly, don't be afraid to blend. Blend until you're satisfied. Trust me, it makes the difference. So I like to move this up to my eye, but you have to look up so that you can get all the corners of your eye. And I'm moving this up, doing the same here, blending it out, moving up into my eyelid. Please give my video a thumbs up. So now that I am satisfied, like I said, this is the last to blend, but this will be the first to set. And to set, I'm going to be using the setting powder. This shade is called Merak. This brand is Merak. And I'll be using the shade Curry. Yep, using the shade Curry. I like to pick a little bit of product, blend it out to my skin, and then press it into my skin. If you just pick the product and put on your skin, it's going to be a disaster. So I'm going to be pressing this into my skin. You want to press it into your skin as much as possible. Look up and press. This makes the difference. Remember, take a little bit, blend it all out, and then press it into your skin. And this is setting what you've applied under here, which is your concealer. So you set it, because you don't want it to crease, you set it first. I'm doing the same thing for here. Remember, this is the first place that you are setting. So I'm pressing it all the way into my skin. I think it looks good. Please give my video a thumbs up. Share with your friends. So, yeah. This is what I am doing. Pressing it into all the places that I have applied. Please give my video a thumbs up. Send me a comment in the comment section. And then I'll be doing here. And then my forehead and my nose. So I'm just going to keep on applying until I get the perfect blend. So now that I have set the concealers, the next place I will be setting is my contoured areas. Say it, hi, how are you? Where are you watching from? If you're still here, let me know where you're watching from. Hi, welcome to my live. I'm doing a live tutorial, as you can see. Stay, watch, like my videos, share, comment. And what I'm going to be doing is taking a palette and I'll be blending, I'll be applying the contour. So if you don't know, this is a V-Beauty powder palette. It has so many colors, so I get to work, because I'm a makeup artist, it's perfect. I get to have so many shades in one. I would advise having a palette because it is super good. You get to use so many palettes and so many colors if you're working, because you are working with different skin tones, right? So you want to have enough colors as possible. So I'm just taking a bronzing powder and I'm going to be doing this, setting the contour. If you remember the rule, for every cream you have to set with a powder, which is what I am doing, just setting the contoured area. Please give my video a thumbs up. And I'm taking all this all the way to the top, like so, all the way to the top, as so, because these are the places that I have applied my contour cream. I'm setting it with the contour powder. So Then I go and do this other side as well. And when I am satisfied, I will go in and do the same for the blush as well. And I'm taking my blush palette. I told you guys, I love lots of palettes because I can choose different shades, right? So this is a CPD blush. It has so many colors that I can choose from. So today I will be using, let me see. I'll be using something more pink. I'll be using this one. It's kind of like a peachy shade. No, not really. It looks pink to me. So I'll be using this shade. And I'll be applying it to my blushed cheeks. So the next question that I will be answering is blush for your cheeks or higher? So it all depends on what you're trying to achieve, right? When you contour upwards like this, you're trying to give your face a slimmer look. So this is perfect for people who have like bigger cheeks and they want to look slimmer. You apply it upwards. So you can apply your blush upwards or you can just apply it to your cheeks, right? It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. So it's not a one size fits all. You can definitely do it the way you want. Some people prefer their blush just on the apples of their cheeks, and that is perfectly okay. You are still doing it the way you like, and that is okay. It all depends on what you want to achieve with that look. I actually tend to apply my blush and contour upwards because I just like to get that slimmer look. So if you're looking for like a fuller cheek, then you can apply it just to the apples of your cheek. And these are the apples of your cheek, if you didn't know. So, like I said, it depends on you and what you're trying to achieve. So I will be applying it in like circular motion. And you have to be checking it, right? So you don't have one going upwards and one is downwards. It's not going to look in sync, and you want your makeup looking in sync all the time. So if you find out that it's not looking in sync, of course you can adjust it until you get your desired look. So yeah, this is what I am doing, and when I am good to go, the most important, you shouldn't skip this. You have set your under eyes and your forehead, your nose, your chin, your cupid's bow. Because you conceal there, you set them with powder. You have to conceal the rest of your face. These parts haven't got any powder, and I used to make that mistake a lot. When I don't apply it there, it tends to be creamy, it creases because you have your smile line around here, so you would get it creasing if you don't set it with the powder a lot, right? And then you set the other parts of your face as well. So I like to take this powder again and taking the one that is my shade, and I will be setting the rest of my face. So starting from here, I will be setting it with the powder. So in the summer, I tend to tan a bit, so my products are looking really bright for my face, but I would correct it. So I applied this just to tone down my blush a little bit because I think it's a little bit much, so you can tone it down like so. Remember, set everywhere. Make sure your powder goes where your cream has gone. Everywhere. Then I'm going to be taking this all the way. Setting it, setting it, setting it. I want it set, so I'm going to be going all over. So if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to answer. Welcome to my live. My name is Jenna, a makeup artist. Let me know where you are watching from. I'm answering some frequently asked questions in this live. So another question is, does your eyeliner have to go before your mascara? So I have mentioned this once and I'm mentioning it again. Your makeup can be designed to what you want, but I would highly advise that you apply your eyeliner before your sorry I will highly apply, yeah, you apply your eyeliner before your mascara. Your mascara should be the last thing, because your mascara, um depending on the eyeshadow you do, or the look you do, you might need your eyeshadow first. If you're doing like a smoky eye, you need your eyeliner first because you're going to blend it in. But then again, like I said, makeup is not one size fits all. I have seen people who do their mascara and then apply their eyeliner, so it depends on what works for you. But I always tend to do my eyeliner before my mask. In fact, I spray my face before I apply my mascara. My mascara is always last. So it depends on you, what works for you. Because you might find that your mascara before your eyeliner works perfectly for you. Of course, you go ahead and do what works for you. So just know what works for you and use it. So now that I am comfortable, I then go ahead to draw my brows. So for my brows, I like to use a pencil. Now, what else can you use to draw your brows? You can use a brow pomade. They have those in stores, just different places. So what works for you? If you find that the pomade works for you, of course, go ahead and use your brow pomade. But if you're like me that likes to use pencils, you can go ahead and use your pencil. So if you're going to use a pencil to draw your brows, I advise to get it as sharp as possible. You want it as sharp as possible. Why? Because it's going to be pointy. So I get it as sharp as this. And this is how I'm going to be drawing my brows with this. So if you have a brow pomade or you have a gel, if you have a hard time drawing your brows, you could use a brow tamer or your regular hair gel. Works. I use it all the time and it works good. But in this video, I'm not going to be using any of those because my brows are pretty good right now and I can work with them. They're not overgrown, they're the perfect way, and I'm not going to be using them. So for me, how I draw my brows, I like to start from the middle and work my way all the way down, and then I come to the front. While some people might draw it from the front to the back, I find that this is what works for me. Why I try to, what I typically do is trying to get the arc first, because this could be like the most problematic part of your brows, the arc. Oh my goodness, it could be problematic. The same thing if you don't want to draw your brows, like you want to retain your brows. Like my brows are actually pretty good. On a day when I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to draw it, I just retain it and conceal it. So I do the exact same thing. I conceal from the middle and walk all the way to the front. I'm going to show you that when I'm done with this brow. So So this is what gets your brow looking nice and natural. If your pencil is blunt, it's going to dig in a lot of product on your eyebrow. This is what gets it looking light, natural, and the perfect mimic for your natural brows. So I recommend. You want to be as light-handed as possible. So I do the bottom, then I go to the top. So So I like to follow the natural line of my brows. I don't try to overdraw or underdraw. I just follow it. And when I've gotten the outline and I'm okay, then I go ahead to fill in the brows. And what does filling in the brow mean? Making hair-like strokes, as so. Oh, what blush did I use? Um, I would advise you to rewatch my video. I answered some important questions. For my blush, I used a lipstick. And in this video, I made mention that you can use your lipstick as a blush. All that matters is how you're blending it in. This is the Maybelline lipstick in the shade 50 Wicked. And this is what I used as my blush. So I just fill it in. And now I find that my pencil is getting blunt, and I'm just going to be leaving it. So now my brow is looking good, I think. I'm just going to go in with a little more strokes. The parts that I feel that are looking bare, I'll be adding some few strokes there. And I think this is perfect. Always go in to brush it in. Keep brushing it until you get what you desire. Right now, this is my desire. I love it. And I'm seeing that it's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. So if I had used like a brow tamer, yeah, I think you should use your lipstick as your blush. Of course you should. If you have like an orange lipstick, works perfectly. If you have red lipstick, works perfectly. If you have pink lipstick, works perfectly. If you have purple lipstick, it works perfectly as a blush. It all depends on your skin tone. For darker people, I find that a red or pinkish red or pink blush tends to work on darker skin tone. For like lighter skin tones, the pink blush, like the peach blush, those ones work perfect on lighter skin tone. Caramel, you can play with it a lot. You can use the purple, you can use the pink. It all matters on your undertone really, and what you really want to wear, honestly. Some days you feel like wearing pink, some days you feel like wearing like purple. All depends on you. Whatever you want, you can use. Please subscribe to my channel, follow, send my videos, share, and like. So I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. I will be brushing my brows, and then like I said, I'm drawing it from the middle. So this particular brow tends to be a problem. So what I'm going to tell you, my little secret is that your brows are sisters. They are not twins. They are not identical twins, please. They are sisters. They don't have to look exactly the same, but they should look close as to each other as possible. It should be as similar as possible to the best of your ability. So don't go fussing if it's not working out and looking exactly the same. Draw it as close as possible. So I like to follow my brow hair like I said. I draw the bottom first, and then I go ahead with the top. So I'm just filling it in. And now that I like the outline, I'm going with the top. I'm being as light-handed as possible and just going along with it. See what I said? They're sisters. This one has like a higher arch, which happens all the time, but that is perfectly okay. I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest of it. as light-handed as I can. And then I will fill it up like I did for this one. So I'm just going to be moving it in upward strokes, looking for the parts that don't have hairs, and I'm just filling them in. Just filling it in ever so lightly. And then I go ahead with the brush. And I mean, I could decide to wear it as is. Hi, give my video a thumbs up if you're liking this video. Share with someone who needs my video. I think you can learn something from it. You can share with someone who can learn as well. Don't gatekeep. We don't gatekeep over here. We give deets. We give the deets so that someone else could learn, right? So this is what I have. I'm just going to brush it through so that I would know if I have to fix anything. I don't think I have to, so I am okay with this. I will go ahead and conceal. I will go ahead and conceal. All right. And then I do my eyeshadow. So for me, I like to do what I call the skin work, which is basically doing my foundation, concealer, blush, contour, all that you refer to as like your skin work. I like to do that before I go in with my eyeshadow, just because I find that it's easier for me. But you can also do your eyeshadow first, especially if your eyeshadow takes so much time. You can go ahead and do your eyeshadow first and then you come back and do something else. So now that I am done with my brows, I need to conceal it, and concealing it just cleans it up. So I'm going with the same concealer that I used for my under eye. If you were here earlier, you would know that I didn't use the concealer, I used the foundation. So I'm going with that same foundation, and I'm just applying a very teeny bit on the mixing palette, and I'm going to be going in with this. So I'm just cleaning it up as lightly as possible. So I want this part of my brow to be highlighted the most, which is why I'm going in there with most of the bulk of the product is going to be here. And when I get here, I'm just going to be using almost no product really. I like to wipe off my brush completely and then take just a lighter shade, sorry, a darker shade, just to blend with it, right? It makes it look more natural. So taking a darker shade, I'm going to be working on this inner corner. I'm just ever so lightly using my brush. And if you can see, it doesn't even look like there is any products as much. So when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and use the same product and blend this all out. I'm cleaning that place out, and I want it to blend easily, so I'm using the darker one. Then taking a brush, I will be blending it into my skin. Blending it all in. And voila, looks good. So you want to use little products, because if you don't use little products, your blending is going to be very hard. So little product goes a long way. Now I'm taking this same brush. I'm going to be basically wiping everything out so that I have an almost empty brush, just to touch on the top. Now this is not necessary. If you feel like your brow is good, don't touch it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So now I'm doing this because I also want to show people who make like oh my god, I made a mistake, right? Or I overdrew somewhere. This is a perfect way to get it looking nice without having to struggle blending it in. I think it's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is well blended, and then I can go to the next one. The exact same thing is what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything different. Using the lighter concealer, I will be doing on the brow bone, and then I will be blending it out with a darker concealer, just like I did the first one. So I'm just following the line. I'm not going over, just following the line as so. So the success for your brows is actually in you being still. This is not the time to be talking or doing a lot of things. You're going to mess it up. So now that I've gotten it to what I want, as usual, I'm going to be wiping it all off, taking the slightly darker concealer, and I'm going to be blending it out onto this inner corner. I'm just going to be touching it ever so lightly. And I'm doing the same for the tip. This makes blending super easy. Then I'm going to be wiping everything off, like I said, and touching the top as well. Like I said, this isn't necessary. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But then in any likely case that you made a mistake, this is the perfect way to do it, to go about it. Yeah, so I'm just blending everything out. I'm gonna take a better brush and blend it all out. So remember Jenna's golden rule. My golden rule is wherever you apply your cream, you set with a powder. So now that we have blended this all in to our satisfaction, we are going to be applying a concealer to seal the deal. We're going to be using a powder, sorry, to seal the deal. So just taking a powder, I'm going to be ever so tapping that part with my powder. This sets it all. So I think this is pretty good. Please give my video a thumbs up. Thank you. So I think it's really good. Now I can go ahead and do my eyeshadow. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So let's see. So I'm just going to be taking the remaining, like a little bit of concealer, right? And I'll be tapping on my eyelid and then blending it all in before I go with an eyeshadow primer. I mean, you can also apply like your eyeshadow primer direct, but sometimes I find this a sweet hack for my eye. So I apply the product, I blend it all in. I'm doing it all the way into my eyes. Perfect. I'm doing the same here. So a lot of concealers tend to be quick dry. So if you don't work fast, it's gonna be dry. You do not want to blend a dry concealer. Trust me, it will be better if you just wiped everything off. So work fast, work fast. So now I've prepped my eyes a bit. Now I'm going to be applying my eye primer. So I don't remember the shade of primer I got it a while ago. I don't really remember the shade because I ended up breaking the bottle, like it was an accident, so I don't remember the brand anymore. But there are pretty good brands out there that you can use. This is, oh, I remember now. I think it's the Benai Clown White. Yeah, the Benai Clown White eyeshadow primer. It's a very white primer, but the best part about using a primer, it makes your eyeshadow pop. So I recommend. Can you do eyeshadow without eyeshadow primer? Absolutely, you can do your eyeshadow without the primer. The only thing is that the primer helps pop your products. So what is an alternative to a primer? Your foundation, no, sorry, your concealer is perfect for your eyes. So if you don't have the primer, you can always use your concealer and you're good to go. So you have to blend. Make sure this has blended in before you apply any product. Make sure it's well blended before you apply any other product. There are so many eyeshadow primers there. Just make sure that you have a good brand that you are working with. So I'm blending this in as well. So I think I have some more questions that I need to answer. So give me a second, guys. Let me just blend this. I'm taking so much time to blend this. You know why? If I don't blend it, it's not going to look nice when I apply my eyeshadow. So make sure you blend it properly and blend it all the way. Now you're going to see how this picks up for eyeshadow really good because I applied a primer. That is the best part of having like an eyeshadow primer on your eyes. It picks up your products very much and makes it even more pigmented. Now what's the next question? Do fake lashes go on your eyelid or on your real lashes? Take it from someone who has done tons of makeup for myself and for clients. Try to get your lashes to stay on your eyelid and not your lashes. Why? For most people, and myself included, we tend to just peel them off when we're done for the false lashes, right? And when you do, for every time you do, you lose at least one lash hair. So imagine if you place it on your lash. By the time you're peeling it off, lots of lash hairs will be going. Whereas when it's on your eyelid, like your eyelid, like your skin here, just the skin before your lashes, when you put it there, when you peel it off, what it is gonna do, if you have eyeliner on, it just goes with the eyeliner and not your lashes, right? So you want to save your natural lashes as much as possible. You don't want to be looking bald as a kitty in the eye, right? So do apply your falsies on your skin, not your lashes, or else you wouldn't have any more lashes. So I'm just going to be using I don't know what I want to do for my eyes really, but let's see. What do I want to do as my eyeshadow? I used to love doing lots of eyeshadows, but these days I don't know, I'm just like having no eyeshadow inspiration. I really wish I could go back to the girl who loved to do lots of eyeshadow looks, very intense looks. I'm no longer that girl, I don't know. But let's see what we can do today. So it's always good to start with a transition shade. And I'm just using brown as my transition shade. And I'm going to be applying it all the way for this place. and then I'll be blending it upwards. So I would always advise, whenever you do eyeshadow, learn how to vary um your your brush holding, if that makes any sense. When you hold your brush at the tip, it lets free movement. You can move it as much as possible. But when you do this, it's stiff and you can barely do anything. Like, it makes it really hard. You're just basically struggling to blend. But once you hold it by the tip, your blending can go smoothly. You can do it in a circular motion, which is perfect for your eyeshadow because you need to go in that circular motion movement. But whereas when you have it here, it can't even move so well. Like, it's restricted, like your arm's restricting the brush flow. But when you hold it here, it just blends in smoothly, seamlessly. So holding the brush the right way will make a ton of difference. So I'm just going with my transition shade, and I'm going to be blending the product all the way into my eyeliner. So what am I saying? Not eyeliner, into my brows. So actually I'm using my bronzer as my transition shade. So I'm going to be putting it all the way in here. I'm going to be putting it all the way, just blending it as much as I can, blending it in and upwards to my brows, like so. So remember, this is a transition shade. You're just starting with this. You're going to use other shades as you go. As you go, you use other shades. So I'm doing the same thing here, placing it first and then blending it all the way. So it's better to place first and then blend. You place and then blend. Remember, the way you hold your brush makes all the difference. You're going to be moving it into this corner and be blending it all the way upwards. All the way upwards, all the way. So this transition shade is almost as good as I want it. I will keep on blending until I've gotten my desired look. So now that I have used this, I'm going to move in with another brown shade, and I'm going to be moving that brown shade in. Now I'm using an eyeshadow palette. Remember, I used my bronzer first. Now I'm using an eyeshadow palette, and I'll be using this brown shade. So I'm going to be using it in here, and I'm just going to be placing it. You can see the contrast between the two browns. So I'm just going to be placing it here. Just in there. And then I'll be blending it all the way into that first brown. Remember, the way you hold your brush will influence the way it works for you. So if you hold it here, it will be hard. But when you hold it here, you're giving it enough room to do its thing, right? To move in circular motions. And I'm just going to keep on applying until I get my desired look. And then I'm doing this ever so gently. And I'm going into this place to do the same. So now I'm doing the exact same thing, placing and then blending it all the way. Placing, blending it out, placing, blending it out. And blending it out. Your placement matters. So I'm doing this. See, there is some harshness here. I'm going to make sure I blend it all out. Blending it all out. that I've gotten what I want, here comes the fun part. I'm going to be using the same primer that I used to do a cut crease. So I'm going to be starting from here. And I am able to do this kind of cut crease because I have a lot of eye space to work with. So know your eyes or your client's eyes before you do whatever you do. So I'm just going like this. And then I'm going to be putting this all the way. All the way. All the way. And then I'm just blending it all out. I'm blending it all out. I'm blending it all out. So I'm trying to get a clean line. So when I am satisfied, I will just blend it all out. Taking my brush, I'll kind of be feathering it out with the brush. So with your eyeshadow, you want to make them look like they are married to each other. So when you apply, you have to blend it pretty well so that it looks like it's in the other one. If that makes any sense to you. But yeah, now that I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And I'm just going to be doing the exact same thing. Taking my primer, placing it down. Now, if you're wondering how to place your primer to cut the crease, I would say follow the natural line of your eyes. So for makeup, most of the things that you're doing, you're just mimicking the natural. So there's already like a way your eye is, or your client's eye is. So just try to study it and see what works. So I'm doing all that. I'm doing all that. And when I'm okay, I'll just blend it all out. Feather it all out. Place and then you feather it out. If you're still here watching, thank you. Feel free to ask me any questions and I'll be more than happy to answer. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is blending it all out, just like I did for the first one. So for the cut crease, you really just want to practice and practice because this is a very tricky thing to do, because if you ruin it, trust me, it's hard to go away from there. So always feel free to like adjust it. If you made a mistake, you can go back with like your brush, your blending, the first brush you used, you go over like this and try to reinforce the brown. When you do that, then you can recut the crease. So I'm doing this. Now I'm going to be taking the same brown that I used and I'm just going to be blending it into this ever so lightly, and then I'll be blending it all in. I took a little bit of product and then I'm just blending it as so. Doing the same thing here. Blending it, blending it, blending it in. Blending is key, guys. Blending is key. So I'm just feathering it out. So I've gotten it as close as possible. Now I'm going to be taking I'm going to be doing a double cut crease, guys. Wish me luck. I'm just trying to be artistic. I don't really wear as much as I used to when I was much younger. Not anymore. But let's see. Let's see where this is headed, guys. I'm actually interested in seeing where this look is headed. I don't know what kind of eyeshadow I'm doing. So I'm just getting like a light eyeshadow and I'm going to be placing it on this crease that I've cut. I'm going to be placing it as so. And this shade is like white, so I'm just placing it all the way on the crease that I have used the concealer or the primer to cut. Can you do this with the concealer? Absolutely, you can do this with the concealer. You don't have to have a primer to do this. Your concealer works perfectly. So I'm just placing it, placing it, placing it, placing it, placing it. All the way at the top, placing it. And don't worry, if you make a mistake, you can fix it. If you make a mistake and like overplace, remember what I said. Go back with your brown brush, the one you applied the brown, and blend the top. Just blend it all the way, and then it fixes it automatically. Do the same thing here, the exact same thing, placing the lighter one on top. So I'm only using like a big brush to apply this just because I can. But if you're not very good with your brushes, I would say use a very small brush that you can handle. So I'm just placing it in, pressing it in, just so that it goes where I want it to go. So when I'm done, I'm going to go and do the second cut crease, guys. This is so tiring. Like, I'm already tired of this eyeshadow. I don't even know where it's going, but let's see. Let's see where it's going. So I'm going to do a double cut crease. I'm going to cut the under because I want to apply another product entirely. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this. And just cut it here. All right. This might be a fail. Disclaimer. But yeah, I really hope this comes out good. So I'm just placing this all over here. So having a good primer helps really. Okay. As usual, I pull it down and blend it all out. I'm going to make sure I have the exact same thing as close as possible here. I'm just going to do it as close as possible. Okay. okay. I think I'm okay with this. And the same thing, I'm going to blend it all out at the tip. Now I'm going to take it a step further and bring the brown inside this face. More inside. I think I know how I'm going to do it now. Just going to bring it inside here. I want it. Okay. Now I blend it in as close as possible. Now I'm going to apply another color to this one. All right, let's see what it's gonna look like when I do that. And I don't know where my brush is, guys. Okay. Hi, welcome to my live. I'm doing a makeup tutorial. Stick around, comment, and keep watching. So I'm a pink girly, so I'm definitely doing something. Should I do pink or orange? Let's see. I'm thinking something more pink. I'm gonna be going with something like a pink shade. I'm going to be pulling it all the way in here. So just in here. I'm just going to be placing it all the way in here. So this is why you actually need like a smaller brush, because this helps placing the product just where you want it to be. So I'm going to place it, and get it all the way. I have like this double color. I'm thinking maybe I should have put the pink first. Okay, I'll do the exact same thing and apply this here. Just gonna apply this here. Now if you notice, like, the color is looking so pigmented, and that's why. The reason is because I'm using like a primer. If I didn't use like a primer, it wouldn't be as pigmented, right? So use a primer, guys. Use a primer. I'm just going to be using a brush, and I'm going to be applying to the inner corner that didn't get any product. So just going to be applying in here, just where I need it to be. Okay, doing the same here. Okay, I still think this one is different from this one, so I have to press in more product in here and make sure it looks as similar as possible. So I'm just going to take my brush and put some more product, and I'm just applying it. I think a way that this will really pop is if you use like the darker color up and then the lighter one down. This is what I should have done, but it's still a look. A mistake can be a look. Depends on you. Please give my video a thumbs up. And I'm just applying this all over, and then I'm just going to be blending it all out. I'm blending it into the brown so that it looks good and seamless. Now, if you want to take it a step up, you can actually just apply like pigment on the pink area and it will still look very nice. So it all depends. Makeup is just about like your creativity and what you would actually be bold enough to wear, right? So, hey, it depends on you. So, I've blended it all the way in, all the way in. So, what is another question that you get? Um, should you sleep with makeup? I highly do not recommend. Don't sleep with makeup. Your makeup is for you to wear and take out. If you sleep with makeup, you may end up having lots of acne and you will break out a lot. You do not want that, trust me. When you start breaking out, it's so hard for you to fix it. So try as much as possible to take off your makeup when you get back. Once you get back, just so that you don't get lazy, take off your makeup. Don't sleep with your makeup. That is so wrong for your skin. Your skin will not be pleased and it's going to break out. So as much as possible, avoid sleeping with your makeup. So do not sleep in makeup. And when you take it off, make sure you take off all the products. If you have like a makeup remover, use it before you use soap and water. Always, what I do that works for me, I like to use like a wet wipe, take off the makeup. Then if I have like an oil cleanser and oil makeup remover or any kind of makeup remover, I go ahead with it and then use it to take off. Then the final thing I like to do is wash and then apply like my regular skincare, my toner, my moisturizer, my serums. I apply so that I can bring more light and bring back all that moisture and shine to my skin. Because when you wash, you take off all the natural shine and your face needs hydration. So you want to make sure that your face is hydrated at every step in time. So I would advise you not to sleep with makeup. Do not sleep with makeup. You're gonna regret it, trust me. So now that I am done, I'm going to go ahead and put on an eyeliner. And this brand, I do not remember the brand. I can't even find it, but then it's in black. It just says that's the shade black. For eyeliner, it depends on your preference. I always wear long eyeliner. It's kind of like my signature makeup look. So I apply and I go ahead to pull it in. And then I pull it all the way out. As so. I pull it all the way out. As so. And then I connect it. And when I'm pleased, I go ahead and do the other side. There's so many like new eyeliner trends to try, so feel free to try something different, something new. So I'm going to be doing the same here. I'm going to be starting all the way and dragging it all the way out. So some people like to work with like the cream eyeliners. It all depends on you. Since I started makeup, I've always been a liquid liner girl, so work with what is best for you. Your preference, really. I like to work with liquid eyeliners. I find them easy to use. But if you find that you're very good with like the cream eyeliners, the gel one rather, that's perfect for you. go ahead and use it. And the best part of using like the cream eyeliner is that it doesn't dry out as quickly as this one. So it's perfect for you. But then even though this dries quickly, it's good because if you have to like put on your lashes quickly, it dries as quickly and then you can just go ahead and put on your lashes. So it works for me. I've gotten it. Then you may want to draw it into like your inner corner. Depends on you and what you want. Makeup is really what you want. So go ahead and draw it in if that's what you like. Some people don't like this step, so feel free to skip it. Feel free to skip it if you like. So now if you want to be extra, like I am sometimes, you can go ahead with like a gel liner. This is the Karite gel liner. It is in the shade gold. I have a pink one. I think I should use the pink one since I have like a pink look. I hope I can find my pink eyeliner. Yeah, there it is. So this is the Karite eyeliner. I'll be using this for the top of my eyes. I'm going to just be using it where I cut my crease. I'm going to be drawing it all the way outward. Just going to be pulling it out. So if you're dramatic and you want something dramatic, of course, go ahead. I'm just pulling this all the way. So your best friend for when you're doing any kind of eyeliner are steady hands. You want to make sure your hand is in balance and then you're pulling it all the way. So yeah, this is what I'm having at the end of the day. Now I'm going to go all extra for this eye look. So I'm going to take like the gold one and I'm going to be pulling it all the way up here. This is a very dramatic look. So this is what it looks like in close up. It's like double gel glitter liner. I think this would be very nice in the night. If you're going like, if you have a night out, this is perfect. In the daytime, it might just be too dramatic. Remember, steady hands are your friends. So I'm just using this to emphasize my cut crease. And for the gold, I'm not going all the way. It's kind of like a half one. So this is what it's looking like. I love. Okay. just go all the way. So we're going all the way with the liner. All the way. You want this dramatic eye look. So going all the way. And yeah, this is what it looks like close up. Like a double eyeliner effect. I love it. I actually love it. It's so creative. So now that I'm okay with this, I'm going to go ahead and line my bottom liner, and then I'm going to spray, and then my mascara comes last. So I'm just going to be going over my questions from the top. The first question was, how do I know my foundation shade? And like I mentioned, you can know your foundation shade by walking into a store and getting a physical taste test. So when you walk into a store, for instance in Sephora, you get someone who is going to match foundations to your shade directly. That is the very guaranteed way of figuring out which one matches your skin tone. Another step is by using like online quiz to find out which one works for your skin. But I would highly recommend going into a store instead to get a taste, a physical test. It makes it easier for you and faster, trust me. Because imagine ordering like a product and when it comes it doesn't match, right? It's frustrating. So it's better for you to go into like a store, get them to test it on your skin and get your perfect shade, and then the one that matches your skin tone as well. So a store test will always be the best for me. So if there's another way that you find out like your foundation shade, do let me know in the comments. It could help someone. But I know the very reliable ones are like a store test and then an online test for your skin tone for the foundation shade. So I'm just using black to line my bottom liner. I'm not going to be doing anything dramatic for the bottom, just black. So the way you apply your bottom liner matters. If you put it too much under, it could make your eye look like, it could make your skin under look dragged. So you want to like maintain your waterline for lining your under eye, just like I am doing. I'm maintaining my waterline, and then I'm going just above my lashes, and I'm doing this here, just okay guys, sorry for the break in transmission. Anyway, I'm just going to round off this look, and I'm going to apply like my falsies. Do I need lashes? I mean, lashes will really elevate this look, but then yeah, this is what I'm done with the eye makeup. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend like this one into my blush. I want it looking seamless, and I'm just using a powder in a shade that is basically my skin tone, and I'm blending this into my blush so that it looks seamless. So yeah, I don't want the harsh line there appearing, so I'm just using the powder shade that is very close to my skin tone, and I'm just doing all of this. You see that it's blending seamlessly and it looks very nice. So taking a look at this, I'm just loving it. I'm going to be sweeping off any excess glitter that fell out with the brush, just gently sweeping it out as so. And if you have any glitter there, I'm sorry, I don't think you can really do much. You could also use like a dry mascara brush, and like a clean one that doesn't have any product. You can just use it to gently brush off like a smudge of mascara, or you have glitter droplets, that will take care of it for you. Oh, lipstick. Okay, okay. Hi, BK Sweet. Okay, so for my lipstick, I like to go in with a pencil. Please give my video a thumbs up. You can use a pencil, or you can just use like two different lipstick shades, or you can line your pencil. I always like to line my pencil and my lips first before I go in with any shade of lipstick, whether it's orange, whatever. I like to line my lips first. So without wasting much time, I'm going to be going in with this shade. This is Debbie Luster in Ultra in Cocoa. This is a very dark lipstick, so going to be using my brush. This is a lipstick brush or a lip liner brush. I take a bit of it and I go ahead with this. I just line my lip. I don't like to overline my lips, so I just go ahead with it. And go ahead like this. Then I go ahead here. I'm going to touch a little bit more. Please give my video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, share. So now I'm going to be wiping the excess off, and I'm just going to be blending this upwards. So I'm just going to be taking just a little more product into that corner, and I'll just be blending it all up. The top, the same thing, blending it downwards. Blending it all the way. Yeah. So I'm going to wipe off the excess again. Then I'm going to be taking another shade like nude, the shade of nude, and I'm going to be applying it. So I'm using the brush, picking a bit of it, and just doing this in here. I'm taking a bit and I'm blending it in here. Taking more, doing the same upwards, and I blend it in. Then I'm going to be taking it and I'm applying in here. So I can see that I slightly overlined this one, so I'm going to make this one match with that one. Because now my lip looks all weird. So I'm just going to match it up and get them as even as possible. So because I like lip gloss, I would definitely be applying a gloss all over this. But first I have to correct the mistake I made. doing this. And fixing here. So some people might like to actually wear this as matte, but I'm a lip gloss girl, so no. Yep. So now I'm going to be using this brand. This is Beauty by Rish Rish, and I'm just going to be taking this gloss. Before I do that, I'm going to be taking a lighter lip gloss, and I'm going to be applying it to the inner corner of my lip, and then I'll be applying another gloss all over the top. I'm taking this, smearing it all over. To this part. So I like to use the pigmented gloss for this, just for the inner corner, and then taking a clear lip gloss like this one, I'm going to be applying to the rest. I'm just going to be putting this all over. And this completes the lipstick. It looks really good. If I need to adjust it, I'm gonna look. I think it's cool. I don't have to adjust anything. So I'm just blending it out. So I'm just going to be taking my brush and blending the rest of the product into my skin as so. The next thing I'm going to do is to spray. When you spray, it breaks down the powder and it doesn't look as harsh as it did before. So I spray, I have to let it to dry before I do anything else. So I was answering some questions. I'm going to go over the questions again. The first question, how do I know my foundation shade? Like I said before, you go into the store, you get your foundation shade tested by a client representative or someone who understands how to match your shades, and then they get you your perfect shade. I find that that's the most reliable way to find your foundation shade, going into the store, getting them to test the product on your skin directly. If you don't have the luxury of going into the store, you can go online. They have different online tester quizzes that you can take, but that does not 100% guarantee that you get your best shade. So going into the store is the best way. Hi, welcome to my live. Please give my live video a thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. I do live videos every day by 12 a.m. or 12 midnight Canadian time, Toronto Canadian time. So the next question is, how do I put my eyeshadow before, do I put my foundation before my eyeshadow? I answered that by saying that it really depends on what you want. Some people find that when they apply their eyeshadow, first do their brows, it's perfect for them, and then they can go ahead with their foundation. But for me, I like to apply my foundation, do my skin work before I go ahead with my eyeshadow. Now, the downside to doing this is that you're going to have a lot of fallouts if you don't know how to control your shadows, because shadows are like powders, right? They're pigments. If you're using glitter, you're going to have lots of glitter fallouts here, which is not the best, right? So some people prefer that when they do their eyeshadow, then they can put their foundation, and honestly, it does work, right? Then another question is, what is the difference between a foundation and a concealer? And I said, visibly, if you walk into the store, you will find two products like this. This, the smaller one will always tend to be the concealer, while the bigger one is the foundation. That is the face look like difference, right? When you look at it in the face, that is what you can use to differentiate it one. However, another way to characterize a concealer is that the consistency is way thicker than the foundation, so you can always get them to do a taste test for you, just so that you know the difference. And concealers are more pigmented because the design is for it to conceal, right? That is what it was made for it to conceal. So you find out that concealers tend to be more pigmented than foundation. However, some foundations are pretty pigmented, but then concealers are always more pigmented. Another question is, do you wear primer all the time? Do you need to wear primer? And I would say yes, it is very advisable to wear your primer whenever you wear makeup, especially in the summer and in humid climate. So where if you are in a zone that is very hot, I would advise that you wear your primer every time you put on makeup, because this will help to control your sweat, it will help to control the oils on your face. However, you should apply your primer after you have moisturized your skin. Do not skip that. If you apply your primer before you moisturize, it's going to change the balance of your product, and it's not going to look nice. So moisturize before you prime. Next question is, can you use your lipstick as a blush? Yes, if you were here at the beginning of this video, you'll find out that I used this Maybelline lipstick as my blush. And I tend to do that very much. Sometimes I might want to wear like an orange blush. I want to wear a red blush, and I don't necessarily have the blush palette. What do? I go ahead and use my lipstick as my blush. It works perfectly. The key here is to make sure it is well blended. You can use any red, peach, orange, pink. You can use those lipsticks as your blush. Works like a charm. Next thing is, why do people use sponges? If you don't know what a makeup sponge is, this is a makeup sponge. People prefer to use sponges to brushes because, first of all, it's probably their preference. For me, I could use both. Recently, I've found that I've been using the sponge a lot. So it really depends, and they are very different and unique. For instance, you can't use your beauty sponge to apply your eyeshadow. I mean, some people might do it, but a lot of people would not be able to work it out, right? But this works like for your eyeshadow, I'm sorry, for your concealer, for your foundation, you can use a sponge. But when it comes to things like your eyeshadow, your brows, using a brush is the perfect like thing to do instead of a beauty sponge. It doesn't work. Then is blush, you apply a blush just at the apples of your cheek or higher? It really depends. What are you trying to create? That should be the first question. What are you trying to create out of the look? If you're trying to get like a very slim face, you might need to wear it up so that it slims your face, it drags your face in, and your face looks slimmer like mine. If you notice, I have chubby cheeks, so yeah, it tends to drag it in and give me a slimmer appearance. But if you want a fuller face, perhaps you have an oval face and it's a smaller face, you might want to wear your blush on the apples of your cheek all the way this way so that it makes your face look fuller. It all depends on you. Next thing is, does eyeliner go before mascara? Like I said, wear your eyeliner before your mascara. Why? Because your eyeliner, depending on the style you're trying to do, you might have your eyeliner being blended. Like if you're doing a smoky eye and you apply a black liner and you want to blend it into your eyeshadow, is much wiser and better for you to apply your liner before your mascara, because you're going to blend it into your eyeshadow. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve. However, some people find that applying their eyeliner after they have put on their lashes is safer for them. like I said, do what suits you, do what you're most comfortable with. But I find that it's easier to do your liner before your mascara. Then, do fake lashes go on your eyelid or do they go on your lash? Please, as much as possible, make sure it's on your eyelid and not on your lash. Whenever you put false lashes, you have a tendency to losing one or two eyelashes. Like your lashes, at least one or two are gonna go out when you take it off. So it is more safer for you to have it on your eyelid, so when you peel it out it's literally on your skin. But if you have it on your lashes, when you're taking it out, you're going to be plucking lots of your lashes. And if you're someone that wears makeup constantly, that means you're going to be always pulling out lashes when you take off your falsies or your false lashes. We don't want that. You don't want to go bald after taking off your lashes. Then finally, should you sleep with makeup? I do not recommend sleeping with makeup. It distorts the natural balance of your skin when you sleep with it. When you sleep with it, your skin, that is when you go to sleep, is the only time that your skin, your body gets to rejuvenate from exercise, from the day's work, from anything that you have done during the day. Is going into hibernating mode. So it doesn't make any sense that while it's trying to rest, you're giving it this extra work of trying to overbalance because you have a ton of products on your skin. It's not good. It's gonna lead to acne, it's gonna lead to lots of breakouts. So once you're done, once you get back home, make sure you clean your makeup, take it all off, and not just wiping it all off, wash your face, apply your moisturizer, apply your serums again, just to give your face back its natural balance before you go to bed. Don't go to bed with a dry skin. Your skin is working, your body is working while you sleep, so it needs to work with the proper things, the proper products and proper things to balance your skin back since it has been stressed throughout the day. So these are my tips. I think if you put these tips into practice, it makes your makeup game so much different. It changes the way your makeup appearance looks. It gets better and it looks much better. So these are some tips that you can use. Feel free to do your own research, find what works for you, use what works for you, and I will see you again in my makeup class. I'm giving you guys free class. I pay regularly to upgrade my makeup skills. So please share my videos. Please give my videos a thumbs up, share them to someone who wants to learn from them, and I will see you again tomorrow in my live class. Thanks for watching my video. If you stayed here from the beginning of the end, from the beginning of the video to the end, thank you so much. I love your dream and your what's the word, I love that you're supporting my brand. Thank you very much. And share my videos, guys. Share, subscribe. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.